Very cool. And that you guys were spared, right?
Yes.
Thank gosh.
Damaris Diaz, Despierta America. You may begin.
So
Great.
this is such an interesting story. I want to know, what did you tap into when you sat down to put these ideas on paper?
Well, it all started off with wanting to return to a horror film after Black Swan. I love the genre. And I thought that doing something about home invasion was interesting because we all have that feeling. We've all, had that when a guest comes and they stay too long. Sometimes it's a family member. It's like, time to go. But turning that into a nightmare was an interesting idea. But then I had this other kind of larger idea of talking about not my mother, not your mother, but our mother, the mother who has given us all this life and this beautiful planet to live on, and trying to tell a story from her perspective.
Now, it's so mysterious. I went in there not knowing what I was going to take away from it. And you managed to keep the viewer, like, kind of, on the side, like, just giving us little bits and pieces. How do you manage to maintain that level of mystery throughout?
Well, yeah, it's good. That was the goal, was to make it this mysterious experience. You're sort of watching the film and you think it's one type of movie, and then something happens and it's a different type of movie, and it keeps shifting like that. And, it's hard to make something that's spoiler-free, that's not ruined for you. And we wanted to make something very unique and different for the marketplace, because I think audiences have an appetite for new things.
And now this house, usually when we have a home, we see it, getting better and better. We renovate and we make it more beautiful. And as this story unfolded, the house almost took on another persona as well.
Well, yeah. Does it sound at all like anything else happening in the world? There is a connection between, how this house is treated. It's hard to connect with a forest, the largest forest fire in the history of Canada, but it's very easy to connect if someone burns a hole in your carpet with a cigarette. So that was the idea, was to try and take these big global issues and make them very, very human.
And now, speaking of that house, it's almost impossible not to be afraid every time she walks into a room, because you have this level of suspense throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
What was the energy like to be there in that set, in that home?
It was a beautiful set, and it's very relaxed when we make our movies, even though the films end up being super tense and scary, and they're built to shake you. We have a good time making the films. Between action and cut, things get very, very serious, and we work really hard and everyone's focused. But the rest of the time, it's an old family working together, and we just have a good time taking the piss out of each other.
And this cast, what an amazing cast. So diverse and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, it started with Jennifer Lawrence. Never thought I could get her. She loved the ideas behind the film and jumped in to do it. Then I had to find a man who could stand up to such a strong woman. It's not that many men out there that can do that. But Javier Bardem is a total volcano of emotion and just one of the great actors. And then I had to find this other couple that came in, and I heard Michelle Pfeiffer was thinking about acting again. I jumped at the chance, and then to get a legend like Ed Harris, it was fantastic.
What would you say is the key theme in this movie? All the different...
I mean, it's really about, there's a lot of helpless rage, and it's also about scaring the wits out of you. And
Which you did.
And I think it's also about how insatiable everyone is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gracias. Hasta luego.